We're gonna do this every time. Hey everybody, if anybody's there yet, sorry we're a couple minutes late. We're having technical difficulties, and I have no idea why, but it just worked finally. So, anyway, this is David and Melissa, Pro Duo Flippers. I don't know if anybody's here. As usual, I really need to learn to schedule these so that people can be waiting in the room before we start these. So, anyway, today we're going to talk about all the good and all the bad about being full-time resellers on eBay and doing this for a living as our only source of income. So it looks like we got one person there. Maybe that's Melissa again.
Well, I don't know. I can't even find it.
This is like our third or fourth live. Hopefully at some point we're going to kind of figure this stuff out. Let me turn your sound down because it's going to be weird to hear us. All right, there's two people, so somebody's watching. So if you guys can hit the like button so that we know somebody's there, or if you can send a comment so we know the live chat is working. I don't know if I did the live chat. Oh, it says welcome to live chat, so maybe it is. And I just realized that Harry Tornado is also having a live video as well, so hopefully we can still get a few minute people. Harry Tornado is awesome. If you guys haven't watched him, check him out sometime. I've been watching quite a few of his videos, but anyway, somebody said hi.
Yeah, Pop's Attic.
Hey, Pops Attic. Looks like you're the first comment.
Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Kathy's Online Sales. We'll kind of give it a couple minutes before a few more people show up. It looks like we're up to 5. We're hoping we at least get, what did we have last time, like 30 or so?
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll at least have that many so that people can be asking questions and we can be kind of interactive. Let's tilt that a little more. Can you guys hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, please let me know. Hi, Natalie. Thanks for coming. Glad you're here. I think that she just messaged me on Instagram saying she was going to come.
Oh.
Or maybe it was a different Natalie. Anyway, welcome. All right, Kathy says she can hear us, so that's good.
Yes. Perfect.
All right, so we kind of have a rough list. I told Melissa to kind of make up or think about the things that she thinks are good and bad about reselling full-time, and I told her not to tell me. So maybe I'll be surprised about the things she doesn't like about working with somebody, or maybe not. I don't know. So anyway, we'll just kind of start with, I'm just going to ask her.
Oh.
Not everything. I'm just going to say, what's one of the better things that you like about reselling full time? As a couple, or even as just for yourself. That's fine too.
So the one thing I do like is I don't have to leave the house, which is kind of nice. I've started to become a homebody. I like to be social. I like to talk.
Yeah, now we're even.
Thank you. So I like to go out and visit with people, and David teases all the time that, well, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah, she's pretty chatty. And she has a lot of friends, which is great. But I'm just different. I don't have a lot of friends.
I don't know about that.
I have a couple friends, but like, I'm just kind of a quiet person. I'm reserved. I'm introverted. I don't really consider myself shy anymore. I think I was when I was younger. I'm not afraid to talk to people. I'm just fine on my own for the most part. Yeah. But I do have a couple friends that we play tennis with and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Anyway, but she's very outgoing, has lots of friends, is always talking to people on her phone or in person. Anyway, go ahead. I'm interrupting you.
You're fine. But I like that I get to stay home, and honestly, people, this is what I'm wearing today.
Don't show them.
Yes, look, I'm wearing pajama bottoms all day because I don't have to go in.
So I'll just gonna go ahead and chime in. I'm just gonna chime in here, and you can too, about good and bad things wherever. So a good thing, and maybe sometimes a bad thing, is that we pretty much always wear sweats and hats. And don't fix ourselves up.
Yep.
So maybe it's good for me that I get to look like a bum all the time, but maybe she doesn't appreciate it. I don't know. So it could be good for me and bad for her, and vice versa for the same reason. Anyway.
He does clean up very well.
So does she. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so yeah, it's nice that we don't have to go out, especially when the weather is bad. Or I mean, we're here in Idaho. It's very cold here, and so it's nice to not have to go out in the weather. Although you still do most mornings to take.
Yeah, I still got to take a kid to school, so yeah. I still have to go out. But I do have a remote start, so that's nice.
And heated seats.
And heated steering wheel.
So she's kind of spoiled there. I don't. So when I go out and get in my car, it's freezing cold.
Not in the wintertime, he doesn't.
But-
He takes mine.
I could have my car in the garage if I didn't have so much junk in there. So, all right. So let's try to not go off on too many tangents here.
Well, we
But-
didn't.
Well, I'm just saying. All right. So what's one bad thing that you don't like about being a full-time seller, or even just not having a job or working with me or whatever?
I just miss the social.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I miss that. Because I would go and I would have patients all day. So I had 10 patients a day, and I'd get to have lots of different conversations. And then my coworkers at work, that was a lot of fun, and I really missed that part.
Yeah.
Not that you're not fun to talk to.
No, I get it. I get it. But no, you are. I worried about that, honestly. I didn't think that you. I thought that would be one of the reasons you wouldn't want to be do this for a living. Was that I know that you enjoy interacting with your coworkers and with the patients and everything, and it's different. And she stays home more than I do because I still go out and go sourcing when she doesn't want to.
Yes,
But
it's true.
not that I go out and talk to people a lot when I go out, but I do go out and I'm out amongst other people, and so it's, she kind of stays at home. So I
Yeah.
wonder if the thing that will change at some point, and you'll want to be, start getting cabin fever and want to get out of the house a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's been 5 months,
I don't know. I could,
5
yeah,
months or so
maybe.
so far. So anyway,
Yeah.
somebody had a question.
Oh,
I guess we can monitor that as we're going.
Oh, Kathy's online sales says she doesn't like the bookkeeping. I don't do that. That's him.
I
He's
do
the
that.
numbers guy.
And I like doing that. And I get that a lot of people probably don't like doing that. Like, she doesn't like sourcing, which I'm sure everybody thinks is weird. I do like the bookkeeping. I like looking at the numbers just because I like tracking everything. I like seeing that we're growing, and I just like numbers. So I have an accounting and financing background, and that's probably why I have my big spreadsheet that you guys I'm sure have seen too many times that I like to manage on every day and throughout the day. And so I just like that part of it. But I can see that a lot of people wouldn't like that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
All right, so I made a whole list here because I don't want to sit here and have to think about things. It's just a lot of things. We don't have to talk about all of them. Anyway, so I'll just go over a couple of the normal things that probably might keep other people from quitting their jobs and doing this for a living. So one is that we don't have paid vacation. We don't have time off. On the other hand, we can take as much time off as we want, but it's not like you get a normal paycheck when you take that time off like you would if you had a job with vacation benefits. So, like, I had a job that had 2 weeks off, and I was pretty close to, I think by now I probably would have 3 weeks of paid vacation. Melissa didn't have that kind of a job. She had a contract only, and so anytime she took off, it wasn't paid anyway. So she's used to that, I guess. But the good thing about that is we make enough money that it doesn't really matter. We could take 2 weeks off and shut our store down completely, and we'd still be okay. But there is things that could help us. We don't shut our store down when we go on vacation. So we haven't taken any really long vacations, maybe a week or so at the most.
Yeah. not
And
very long.
and we just let our sales go. We just adjust our handling time or whatever. And so we still have sales. But the problem is, yes, you still have sales. Yes, you still make money while you're gone, but it does affect how much money you make because during that time maybe you're not listing, and that's really where your income comes from, is from the listing. So if we have a week where we're not listing, that may not affect us the week we're on vacation or even the week after, but soon thereafter, we're going to have less sales because we didn't do that listing. So.
Yeah.
Someone asked about health insurance.
Yes,
And
Natalie.
so that's something else I have on here. That's like the next thing I was going to talk about anyway. Yeah, we have no health insurance. So Melissa didn't have it at her work anyway because she had no benefits. She made a good hourly wage, but they didn't take out taxes. They didn't pay any kind of benefits other than that otherwise. And then I had it at my job. So we haven't had insurance since I quit my job a little over 2 years ago. And so that is spendy for us.
Insurance with a company.
Yeah, we have insurance. That's right. I should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have any employer sponsored or, employers typically pay with like 60 to 80% of your insurance premium every month. We don't have that. So we do pay about $1,200 a month for insurance
For a family.
for a family of four. I guess there's 4 of us that are on it.
4.
Four.
Sure.
4. My daughter's here half the time, but she's on her mom's insurance, my ex-wife. So if that makes sense. So yeah, we pay about $1,200 a month We have pretty good insurance. We don't have the cheapest one because we need it. And we are in Idaho, so it may be cheaper or more expensive in other places. I really don't know. Here in Idaho, they don't have a lot of selection. There's only like 3 plans that even we could even go with, and we took, I think, the middle one or something like that because it made the most sense for us. So anyway, yeah, no health insurance. I know that's something that really holds people back, but our debt is low. We really only have a house payment, one small car payment, and then we have our health insurance, and so we can afford it. And I'll just go ahead and say this: out of all the good and bad that there is, it's worth it to me. I don't know how Melissa feels, but being home and doing this full time as our business and not having to go to work, with all the bad that there is, there's much more good in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's worth it for me to pay 12. I mean, I was paying 300 something a month anyway at my work for us to have insurance, I think. And so.
And that was one of my biggest concerns when when he came to me and said, "Hey, I want to quit my job."
Right.
And that was my biggest worry, is because I have to have the insurance. And so we researched it and made sure we could handle it and that it was comparable.
Right. We didn't want to let go of our good employer provided insurance or whatever and have some bad insurance that didn't cover the needs that we have, or mostly that Melissa has with her health issues or whatever. But it's very comparable, and so we're fine there.
Yep.
So hopefully that answers that question.
Yep.
You just have to build it into, can you afford to do it if you make that leap? So for us, we can, and so.
And it doesn't always cost that much money. Like it's dependent on the person too. So they have different plans, and because of what we make, that's the category we're in.
I'll say this: I think that our income, if it was below 90,000, was that what the mark, or was it like 70,000?
I don't remember.
It was like 70,000 or 90,000. If we would have been below that, then they would prorate it based on your income. But we make too much so that we don't get any discount on our health insurance. So if we made maybe 40 or 50,000 total, that's it. Then maybe our insurance would be about half of what it is, because the help that they give you is pretty significant if you fall below that income criteria.
So I would say talk to your insurance agent in town.
Yeah, if you're considering going full time.
Yes, and look at all that stuff before you make that jump.
And you have to, and it goes off of what you anticipate making for the following year, not what you have made. So if you're making a bunch, but you anticipate making less because you're going to be starting off your business, or it's going to be a drop, like mine was. It was a drop, in fact, the first year, maybe even the second year, from what I was making at the bank. And so that's what they go off of, is your anticipated income.
Yeah.
So that's the long and short of health insurance. So
Yeah.
Any other questions about
Nope.
that stuff yet?
If
Okay.
you guys have any other questions, just shoot them in there. We'll watch them.
There is a comment there.
Pops Addict says, I started taking 5% of my sales and applying it to a vacation fund.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So if you're worried about, keeping things smooth while you're on vacation, if you can put a little away and save so that while you're on vacation, I don't know if you're talking about to pay for your vacation or to pay for the lost income, but either way you could do both, right? So if you built up a couple thousand, then if your sales were down for a couple thousand because of that, you being gone for a week, then it would smooth it over and you wouldn't have to feel like you couldn't pay your bills that month or something. So
Yeah. And Marquette 7 has joined us, so thank you.
hello. All right, so I guess I'll just be kind of negative for a while and just go down this list of the bad things. Mm-hmm. So part of just owning your own business. Thank you, eBay Addicts. Yes, please hit the like button if you can. That helps us out and helps other people find our channel too. So one of the bad things about, I guess, owning any business probably is just, having a little bit of stress or worry about your income, not really knowing what it's going to be. When you have a steady paycheck, you kind of know. I guess a job isn't really guaranteed either. People get laid off all the time or whatever, but I guess that can be a little bit worrisome. I don't really worry about it that much because we are making a little bit more than, I would say we're making more than we need to be making. We're making enough that we can put money in savings every month, or pay down debt early or whatever we want to do. And also we have the ability to work a little bit harder. We've talked about this before. We're not like, working hardcore all the time and being super focused and trying and cranking out as much as we can. So we know that we could lift our level of productivity up if we needed to and make quite a bit more money. And so I think that's another thing that makes me more comfortable about not worrying about what our income is going to be in the future. Plus, I would think that reselling is going well in general, and I feel like it's only going to get a little bit more popular as time goes on, right? So with the whole COVID thing, a lot more people were introduced to buying things online when they couldn't make it to the stores, and they're getting used to that. So I think that we're going to feel the effects of that for quite a while. And I don't know that I don't think it's going to drop back to the levels it was before COVID. I think it's going to stay a little bit higher than what it used to be. And it's going to keep growing in popularity. That's my opinion on it. But things could change maybe way down the road. But I think for the next few years, it's definitely going to keep growing a little bit. So I don't worry too much about that. I don't know if Melissa stresses a little more than I do. Do you? I think you did. I think you did it first.
I did
Are
it
you lying?
first. No,
I think you're feeling
I'm
pretty
not
comfortable
lying.
now.
Not now. Like I was
You were
at
lying
first.
before? Oh, okay. I got you. No, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, at first when you wanted to quit, I was worried.
Right. That makes sense. I mean, that's
But
that
I'm
first
not
jump.
worried now.
I wasn't really worried because I knew how long I was doing this. Although I got to say, I was a little naive at the time.
You left home.
I got to say, I was a little naive, and I thought that once I quit my job, my listings and my sales would shoot through the roof because I had so much more time, and that didn't really happen. So keep that in mind if you're considering going full time. That you will have an increase, but it's up to you if you're going to be disciplined enough to put in the work and not go do other stuff. So I guess that'll kind of give me the transition to this next one. Is that especially when you work at home, it might be a little bit different if we had a warehouse and we went to work every day, but we work at home, and so there are a lot of distractions. It may not seem like it. They may not seem like normal type of distractions either, but I'll go ahead and throw in a good one while we're talking about this. We have no boss, so we can do whatever we want whenever we want. We can take a break whenever we want. We can take the day off whenever we want. We can take a nap whenever we want. We can play on social media, whatever we
Yep.
want to do. And so I think, anyway, there's distractions is huge. And that's one of the reasons. What? What did I miss?
Distractions. We're distracted already by the comments.
Oh, yes. Cake or pie. I saw that. I can't answer that question. I love sweets, and so I'll take both. Thank you. That probably in reality has happened before. Do you want cake or pie? I just say both. And,
Yep.
and she knows that's my answer. So.
Yep.
What about you? Cake or pie?
Both.
Okay, back on topic.
Do you want cake or cookies? Both.
Yeah, all of the above.
Do you want pumpkin or apple? Both.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like cheesecake though. So.
That's
Anyway.
true. I can have that all to myself.
All right. So, yes, distractions are huge. So it takes some self-discipline to really stay focused and keep doing the job when you can be doing anything you want to be doing. And what helps with that, I think, is just enjoying what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just really what it comes down to. Well, not just that. Enjoying what we do, and we like money, right? And we want to be, we have a drive to be well off and to do better, to continue to keep doing better than what we've been doing financially. So we have goals set for paying debt down, paying debt off, and investing and stuff like that. So I think between enjoying what we do and those goals, that's what's going to keep us motivated to keep working. So.
Yeah. And the other thing I have to say about distractions is he teases me, oh, you're going to go do laundry. Oh, you're going to go do this. Oh, you're going to make lunch. But I get to do that, right?
Right.
So I can go do that without having to go to my full-time job 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, because sometimes I was working till 6, that I don't have to do all that stuff after work.
Yeah.
I can do it throughout the day. So I can go start a load of laundry, come back down, photograph stuff.
Not picture.
Not picture. I can photograph
To the
stuff.
few people who comment on that.
And I'm not mad. It's fine.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's just some comments we got on a video about Melissa saying she's going to picture some items instead of
Yeah.
photograph. So, no big deal.
Eh.
Anyway, and I tease her about doing that stuff, but in reality, I'm fine with her doing that. In reality, she does more. She may take more time to do household type stuff, and I may take more time to do business type stuff. And I think I'm fine with that. I don't know how she feels about that.
I really want somebody to come clean my house for me, but
Well,
not yet.
Maybe someday.
Not yet.
Maybe someday. It might make sense in the
Yeah.
future, for sure.
And he gets good lunches and good breakfast
It's
and
true.
coffee.
It's true. I get like, I mean, not always, but yeah, like,
No, not always.
especially when you first started, I was getting like full on meals for lunch. It was really weird. I'm used to eating like salami and cheese or
That's
Taco
kinda-
Bell or McDonald's or something because I was always outsourcing.
Or
but
donuts and coffee in the morning.
anyway, yeah.
Can I tell you this funny story? We had somebody come over from Facebook to buy something, and she's like, "Man, I really recognize your husband. How do I know him? Does he work here, here, here?" Turns out she worked at the coffee shop.
And the donut shop.
And the
So, yeah,
donut shop.
I used to frequent there. I don't go anymore, really. I maybe once every 2 weeks or something.
Mm-hmm.
She probably doesn't believe me. But I haven't even been leaving the house, honestly. I've been sourcing like 1 day a week. So, but yeah, I used to go there like 3 times a week. So they knew me. They knew what I was going to order. They knew what my coffee was going to be, etc. So
Yep.
anyway, but yeah, we do have a lot of distractions. It's not really an issue yet. I mean, I think it's made it harder to grow our listings than we kind of anticipate. But we know that we are capable of putting out quite a few listings. We know that we are able to do like 50 a day. And if we could do that even like, so if something happened and we need to make more money, we know that we could crank out probably 250 listings in a week if we really buckled down. And our income would go up, pretty quickly, I
Yeah.
think. So, and there's plenty of inventory out in the garage, so that's not an issue either. So yeah, I feel like as far as the income goes, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not really worried about it. In fact, I'm optimistic about our future and to see what we can do. Anyway, but yeah, distractions are going to be the hugest obstacle to probably most people.
Yep. Because at first you're like, "Oh, I can do whatever I want," and that's what he did. He went hiking a lot.
I did. It's true. So here's what happened. I've talked about this before. I'll try to go through this quickly. So I thought I was working 40 hours a week, and I was probably spending 30 hours a week outside of work on my reselling business, trying to build it up so that I could go full time. And what I was thinking, and I didn't think about how many hours I was really spending before I quit my job. And so what I was thinking was, oh, I'm going to have 40 extra hours to work on my business once I quit. My numbers are going to double within the first year. And and then what happened was I quit and I said, okay, it's been a long time that I've been spending a lot of time in the evenings and the weekends, and I'm sure Melissa was tired of it. And so now that I was full time and doing this all day, I wanted to cut back to what I was doing in the evening and the weekends. So I wasn't really spending any time in the evenings and the weekends. And so I was only spending the 40 hours a week. And then, like she said, I would go hiking or do a couple things during the week. And so I probably wasn't spending any more extra time on reselling than I was when I was working my job. And I didn't understand why I wasn't growing as fast as I thought I would be, until somewhere along the line, it took me 4 or 5 months to figure out why I wasn't really working any more hours. And so,
But inventory
Yeah.
was coming in.
I was still buying a lot because I had lots of time to go sourcing. So yeah, that's a good point. I was preparing for our future.
He was.
Anyway,
Hence the death pile in the garage.
so yeah.
Oh, we have a question.
All right. Yeah, maybe check the comments. I know a couple people joined us, so hello.
Yes. Swamp Picker, Zarek Raggins.
Hey guys.
Blood, Sweat, and Cell says, "So happy to see you guys live." Oh, no, I missed it. I'll finish that. "I normally do not comment. Thank you for all your YouTube content. Have a great night."
Thank you. Appreciate that.
American Gluton says, "What was the total of
Glutton.
items you got?" Glutton?
I think so. Go ahead.
"What was the total items you got at the thrift store, and how many items did you get?"
At the thrift store. Are you talking about my last video?
I don't know. That's all it says.
If you're talking about my thrift store haul, the video that I put up the other day, I don't know if I counted it. I think there was about, I'm just gonna have to guess, there was about 25 items or so. It wasn't a ton. And then I went, when did I go? 2 days ago? I went in the evening, that's what it was, because you had a tennis
Yes, the
match.
last video.
So Friday night, I went and I thought I would go in the evening. It'd been a long time since I'd been in the evening to go sourcing. I hit 2 thrift stores and I found 6 things. That was not very good.
Yeah.
I don't know
Morning
if
seems to be
I don't know if
better.
it's normally like that, but I think during the day is better. So keep that in mind. Maybe it's only one time, so I don't want to say that. I don't want to draw any conclusions from that, but perhaps sourcing is much better during the day than it is in the evening. So it used to be that I source in the evenings or on my lunch break or on the weekends before I quit my job. But
And
anyway,
then they are also asking what's your favorite color and favorite sandwich.
favorite color is probably blue, followed by green.
Mm-hmm.
What's yours?
What's your sandwich?
You answered color while I think
Oh,
about
sorry.
sandwich.
My favorite color is blue.
I don't know about sandwich. I like a
He likes
a
Italians.
hot Italian. Yeah, I like hot sandwiches.
Yeah, and I like a hot turkey and cream cheese with avocado.
But I also eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly. That's my go-to, right? I do. That's my go-to before a tennis match or a soccer game to get my. So I eat those almost every day. Anyway, there you go.
That's it.
Okay. All right, let's move along here. I feel like we covered almost all the bads. I'll hit on this one. I guess like so one of the benefits I had of working at the bank or at any job, I guess that you may have the option to have 401k and have your employer match that. So not only, when I talk about how much I made at the bank, I don't really want to say, I guess it was pretty good money, but I had to figure another $20,000 a year on top of my salary in other benefits. So the amount that they matched in my retirement, health insurance, the amount that they paid and everything like that, time off, that came, think I figured that came to about 20,000 a year. And so there's other benefits of working full time at a job that you also lose. And so I guess I could say that I've lost out on that match. In fact, it's been 2 years since I quit my job, and I just barely started contributing to a retirement plan again. There was 2 years that I didn't contribute because I was concerned about getting the business going, building it up and stuff like that, and get enough money income coming in. So anyway, we're back on track with starting to invest. We're also trying to pay off her car soon, and then thinking about saving, talking a lot about saving for probably purchasing a real estate property next year or so. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yep. Hold on. I need my glasses.
Kyle Johnson.
Yep. Love the videos, especially when you.
Getting old.
I need glasses, people. Especially when you thrifted a lot. You rally roots.
I'm not sure what Akil McLeod, maybe that's a typo or something. Shed flips inspired me to sell, but yeah, we definitely know. I definitely know who Rally Roots is. I know who Shed Flips is, not personally, but I've watched their videos too. I'm not sure what Akil McLeod is. Maybe that's a typo or not, but anyway, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons why I share numbers and stuff like that, is because I want people to, maybe inspire. And it was something that I was struggling to find when I was thinking about going full time. I was having trouble figuring out what I thought I could make as one person reselling full time on my own. But so hopefully that makes sense.
Barry says thanks for the Excel spreadsheets. Well worth $9.
Awesome. Glad you like it. I've got a lot of positive feedback on that. I've actually sold quite a few of those. Probably because I'm only charging $9, but yeah, I'm glad you guys are finding that helpful.
And then I should just leave these on, but I can't see the phone. American Gluton says, do you collect anything like sports cars or autographs?
For myself, no, I don't. And I don't sell those things either because I just don't know enough about them. And I can only imagine, like, if you picked up a lot of cards, how long it would take to go through those to see which ones are worth money, if you didn't already know. But that being said, I will pick up anything in the right situation. So if I went to an estate sale that was ran by the family and there was a box of old sports cards there and they wanted $5 for the box, I would probably buy them and figure cards out. But that hasn't really happened. So I imagine that probably will happen at some point. But no, I don't collect. I'm not really a collector of anything. Maybe shoes, maybe hoodies or clothing. I don't know.
Clothes?
I do like clothes and shoes, but
Clothes.
all right.
Shoes.
Let's move on. What else we got?
That's it.
Okay, I'm just gonna have this last negative one, and then maybe you have some other negative ones that I didn't cover. But one is, and wait, what did somebody say about the boxes? Did we miss that?
Oh, Barry says remember to check out the U-line boxes to save some costs.
Yeah, somebody commented on that. Was that you? About checking out Uline for some boxes. I buy all my boxes on eBay, And I did check a couple of them. So I had 3 that I'd showed in my video, and somebody had commented. I don't know if it was you or if you just read that comment, but I did check, and the prices that they told me about were the same as what I found on eBay when I went and looked on eBay for 2 of the sizes. If you buy 100 boxes or more, which is what I do. So I didn't check the third. I did check the third size, and the third size looked like they were a little more on eBay than they would have been on Uline. So I'll have to look into that and see what I can find. And I know that they had said that you have to spend a certain amount to get free shipping, which wouldn't be a problem. I would just place a bigger order. But yeah, I'll have to look into that and see if I could. I'm always looking for ways to save money. Hopefully, you guys aren't buying your supplies from like Walmart or something like that. The prices are really crazy if you go to try to buy like bubble mailers or bubble wrap. Just get online and look and just buy a little bit of bigger quantity, knowing that you're going to use it in the future, especially like box tape. I'm going to throw in a little tip for looking at box tape. Make sure you're comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges when you're looking at box tape. Some of those rolls are like 55 yards and some of them are 110. So make sure you're looking at the 110 is twice as big as a 50-year roll. So I've seen other people saying they buy their tape at the dollar store for $1 a roll, and they're getting these little tiny rolls, and that's not, and they're saying that you can't beat that. Well, you can. You can get 36 rolls for like, you can get the bigger rolls for like $1 or less than $1 if you buy a case of 36 of them or something. So anyway, check that out. Try to find your supplies online or somewhere like Uline or something like that.
RV Butterfly Wholesale and Thrifting says hello, and then
Hey.
also, how many products did you have on eBay before you started making regular daily sales?
That's tough. That was a long time ago for me, so it's hard to remember. Like, but I would say I've had this question asked quite a few times, and my answer is usually the same. I would say ever since I've had about 100 or 200 listings, it's been pretty consistent that 1% of my listings will sell a day on average. So you may have some days that you don't sell anything, but you might have the next day sell 3 things or something. But on average, you'll sell 1% of your listings per day, assuming you maintain those amount of listings. So what that means is if you have 200 listings, then maybe you're going to be selling on average 2 things a day. Or if you have 100, you'll be selling 1 thing a day. Or if you have 1,000, you'll be selling 10 things a day. And that's kind of a consistent average that I've seen. And that's assuming that you're doing things right. So if your prices are way too high, then that's probably not going to happen. Or if you're buying items that nobody wants, then that might not happen either. But I would say if you're thrifting or if you're sourcing at thrift stores and garage sales, I would say, and you're doing decent listings and pricing things right, that's not just me. I've seen a lot of other people say, a lot of other resellers have said the same thing, that you're going to see about that 1% sell-through rate for your items. So we sell on average about 15 items a day, and we have about 1,500 listings. So we're slowly trying to push that up to 2,000 so we can get to 20 sales a day, and I think that'll be a good level for us to be at financially. But
They say thank you.
you're welcome.
American Gluton says, have you made a video that's like a complete guide to getting started on eBay?
No, but I do sell a guide that would help you. I always have that in the link in my description of my videos. It's only $9 too. But as far as a video goes, I don't think I have a complete guide, but I did make a video that is I think there was one that was about how to get started on eBay. I'm not sure. I would scroll, if you could scroll down. I know I have probably 60 videos now or something. I don't know. Maybe it's getting kind of long to scroll down there, but I do have one I think that there is definitely some tips, at least if nothing else, for getting started on eBay. I don't know about a complete guide. I think that would be a very long video if you covered every little topic that there was about getting started on eBay. I mean, I could do a general one, I guess. But I'm not sure what you mean either. Or do you mean like just signing up for an account, or how you should start listing, or what you should start listing, or things like that? I have touched on that in some of my earlier videos if you scroll down to the start, I think. And my guide, if you're interested in that, it does cover all those things in more detail.
Sci4?
Yeah.
Sci4 says, when the pandemic hit, were you confident that you would be getting more sales because everyone would be online shopping more, or were you guys more in panic mode?
I didn't know. I really had no idea. I was honestly, I was worried. I had no idea what would happen. Because there's two things. I knew people would be at home. I didn't really think about people not being able to go to stores. What I was worried about was people really being worried about their finances and being tight with their money. And so I definitely didn't predict that it would do what it did. And so instead, what happened was everybody was at home, and I would say that if you had necessity type stuff in your store, then you were probably absolutely crushing it with your online sales if you were on Amazon especially, but I'm not on Amazon. But I did sell. Certain things became very popular, and people were just at home more in general, which is similar to fourth quarter. And so they were looking for things to entertain themselves, or they were looking for necessities, or they were looking for outdoor gear to go do sports and stuff like that because they couldn't go to the gym. And so weights were popular. People were starting to work out at home. So yeah, wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting the boost in sales. So it was kind of nice. I don't know if you guys are familiar with our story, but so Melissa was working at the time. We were concerned about her getting COVID, so she quit working for a couple months. She came home to help me. Well, she didn't come home to help me. She came home because we didn't want her to get exposed to COVID. And so,
And someone had to teach the kids school.
yeah, and we had homeschooling, which was a struggle.
I don't suggest it.
So yeah, I would say that she was home during that time, but she probably only helped me about half time because the other half time she was helping with schooling. And so, but she did help me maintain my listings and get my listings up a little bit. And so we did really well. In fact, a couple of our best months ever were during the first 2 months of shutdown. But hopefully that answers your question. I did notice that somebody said that they looked at my store and that my sell-through rate was about 1.1%. So yeah, that's not surprising to me. It's been about 1% for years now. So, and I'm saying, like I said, depending on what you sell, you might be slightly higher or slightly lower. How you price, you might be slightly higher or lower. I've seen some people who sell only video games, and so their sell-through rate is way higher. Like they only have a few hundred listings, but they sell 600 things a month because they just go through their inventory so fast.
Baldy Pal Picking. What's up? Thanks for joining us. RV Butterfly Thrifting, Wholesale and Thrifting says, where'd it go? How many products did you have on eBay before you started making regular? Oh, did we already answer that?
We already did that one. So I would say,
Oh.
if I never really actually answered it, I would say it was about 150 or so, 200. And then I was averaging 1 or 2 sales a day at that point. And then for every 100 I grew after that, I would add another one per day pretty much.
Whoa Dude says, how are resellers making money on Instagram?
I would say they're not. I take that back. I'm not really. The only way I make money off of Instagram, I'll just be very open and honest with you, is if I sell a guide or something or a spreadsheet. That's the only way. There probably are people making money on Instagram by doing paid promotions or promoting other things. I don't know. I've never done any of that. So I've never had any money come to me from Instagram. So I don't know. Or maybe they're directing towards YouTube. There is a way to make money off YouTube if you have AdSense or whatever, people watching your videos, getting views. I guess there is a way from Instagram indirectly if you have like affiliate things linked in your thing and people click on them and purchase things, and then they get a very small commission or something. And so maybe some of the bigger channels with more followers are making money that way. I don't have any affiliate links. I haven't ventured into that yet. I don't know if I will. And then maybe also courses. There are people out there who sell courses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Zarek Ragens. Oh, thanks. Zarek, is that how you say your name? Did I say that right? Yes, thanks. If you guys could hit the thumbs up, that'd be awesome. Appreciate it.
American Gluton says, are you using PayPal or eBay managed payments?
I'm using managed payments now. So I used PayPal for a long time. I held out I didn't want to do managed payments because I was hearing about the problems that people were having. And I knew they were working out some bugs. So I've been on managed payments since I think August or September or something like that. And I've had 0 issues with it so far. It's been working smoothly. I think they've got all the bugs worked out. I know some people have had some issues with, like they hold funds sometimes. Like if somebody requests a return, they'll automatically hold your funds. And there's a 2 or 3 day, about the 2 or 3 day holding period. Like if you get pay for something on Wednesday, it'd be 2 or 3 days before you actually get funds for that. But if you're having regular steady sales like I am, then it won't really matter. You're just going to get, I've got daily payouts. They're all over the place because I'll get a big one on Tuesday that will covers the weekend because they don't do any payouts on the weekend and whatever. But it doesn't really matter to me. As long as we have steady income coming in, it doesn't really matter if it's being delayed 2 or 3 days for me.
Miguel Samaniego, at how many items listed sales per month did you start entertaining the idea to go full time?
Sales dollars per month. That's what you're asking. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that a little bit. I would say, man, that's a tough question. I would probably say about when I got to about, so we were selling.
I don't know if that's what we really focused on though.
So I'm just trying to think. Well, we kind of were. So I didn't want to quit until I could cover my half of the bills. That's basically.
And student loan debt was paid off.
Yeah, that's true. So in the last year before I quit, sorry, I'm bumping the table. The last year before I quit, I was making good money at the bank, and I had my listings up pretty high, so that we had a lot of extra income coming in. And Melissa had a good income too. So we were aggressively paying off debt that last year. I think in that last year I paid off, or I would say that last year and a half, I paid off my truck, which I owed $10,000 on, and I had about $23,000 in student loans left. And that last 10 months, I paid off all the student loans in the $23,000. So I was throwing like $2,000 or $3,000 a month at them. So that was one of the I guess the stipulations. I went and talked to her in August and said, I think I want to do this. I think I can make this happen. And she was nervous about it, but she said, well, talk to me again once you had your student loans paid off. And I don't think she realized I only had like $2,000 left. And so 1 month later I said, okay, they're paid off. And she gave me the okay to quit at the end of the year because we didn't want to, mostly for insurance purposes, we didn't want to have to start over with a new deductible. Anyway, so I would say when I quit, the sales level we were at was about $9,000 a month. And so I would say when I was about half that, so maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a month, that was when I started thinking, okay, I think I could do this full time. I think that's probably about where I was at. That's a long answer to a simple question, but I had to think it through there.
Justin Drazik says he's going full time in about a week. What would be the number one piece of advice you could give him?
Congratulations, first of all. I think that you'll probably love it. There's not very many people I've heard that have quit the job and regretted it, or although maybe I haven't heard all the stories. So I'm curious, like, have you already built your sales up to a certain level that you're going to be comfortable financially doing this, or are you just going for it? But my piece of advice to you is to stay focused and to set some goals for how many listings you want to get in a day or a week, and really make sure you're hitting those. That's really all it comes down to when it comes to reselling, is just getting those, is buckling down and doing the listing. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who have troubles with sourcing and stuff like that, but I think that for the most part, it comes down to buckling down and getting those listings up. So just stay focused, avoid distractions, and maybe ease into changing your lifestyle to doing all the stuff that you want to do.
Marrakech7 says, what's your percent international sales a month, and do you like GPS?
I figured this out the other day, or not that long ago. And I want to say it was like 5% of my sales or something like that was from international sales, and I only use the global shipping program. I know it's not great for the buyer; it's very expensive for them, but at least it's an option out there. And I do get sales regularly. I would say probably one or two a day, maybe one a day or two a day. I don't know. I do regularly get international sales. I like it. It's very simple. There's nothing to it. I mean, if you're not utilizing it, I would highly recommend that you do. All it is flicking a switch that says global shipping on your listing, and you use it. And then when something sells, all you have to do is get it to, you're only responsible to ship it to Kentucky, Erlanger, Kentucky, or however you say that town. And once it's there, then and you've got it there and it's in good shape, and there was no damage in shipping, which I've never had an issue with. Then you're covered. And if something happens between there and the international, I used to think that the Global Shipping Center was eBay. It's not. I didn't realize this, but it's not eBay. It's something they've contracted out. And so if something happens to the package, or it never shows up, or it comes damaged, the Global Shipping Center is responsible for refunding any of those problems. So I don't take returns on international stuff. I have had one issue with it. It wasn't too long ago, where something arrived damaged, or the buyer said it arrived damaged, and he accidentally or on purpose, I don't know, selected the wrong reason for the dispute or the return. He said he changed his mind, even though in the notes it said that there was damage to the item or whatever. If he would have selected damaged item, I would have been fine and covered. But for some weird reason, it's like this loophole with eBay. I called eBay and asked for their advice on what to do, and they said to just decline the return. And so I declined the return, and the Global Shipping Center didn't refund his money because it wasn't damaged for the reason or whatever. And so he filed a claim with his credit card company, and I was kind of out of luck. I think I probably could have fought it, but I don't think I would have won, so I didn't want to waste my time with it. So I ended up refunding his money, and it was $110 or $120 item, so that was kind of unfortunate. But other than that, I have had zero problems with Global Shipping Program, and I think that was just kind of a freak occurrence. So I would recommend using it. All right, while you're looking, I'm going to talk about this one other negative impact I have. And this is mostly for doing this business out of your home. And I would imagine that even if you're not full-time, you're having this impact anyway. And that's your impact of having the business in your house. What do you think about that one?
Sorry, I was reading.
Oh,
I
you weren't
didn't
even
listen.
listening. That's okay. I'm talking about having the business in your house and the impact it has on your house.
You know what? Sometimes I wish it wasn't here, but it's nice that it is here.
So, we have a 3-car garage. You guys have probably heard this if you've been following us. We have a 3-car garage, and I would say,
it's unable to park in.
we're not parking in there at all. We have 3 vehicles, and they're all sitting in the driveway. But that's my fault. That's not really. I could be much more streamlined in my business, and we could have at least 2 cars in there, which is our goal to be back there. 2 cars is the goal, because the one will be her car and not mine, even though she has remote start and heated everything. Anyway, so I would say it's much better now that we're at this bigger house, but in the last house, it was much more of an issue. We did not have the space. And so I'm sure many of you can attest to like having a business in your home, a reselling business, especially with all the inventory. There's things everywhere, right? So for us, we have our 3-car garage that's kind of full. We have our 1,200 square foot basement that's obviously full because that's the reason we bought this house. It's 100% business down here. But we still have stuff on the main level spilling over that we bring in because we want to test it, or we're selling on Facebook, so we want it close to the door. I mean, so yeah, I don't know that our house, I would like to get our main level and our bedrooms too. And I should say in our bedrooms, we have tons of empty boxes.
It's true.
Because we have this ridiculously huge bedroom, and there's just so much space that we haven't figured out what we're doing with yet. So we have a stack of boxes in case we need them for shipping. But anyway, I would say.
So just so you know, our bedroom is over the 3-car garage. It's insanely huge.
Yeah, our bedroom is the size of a 3-car garage. It's
Yes.
It's really weird. I don't know why it's so big, but I'm not complaining.
No, it's nice.
We just haven't figured out what we're gonna do in there. We're gonna throw a couple couches in there. Anyway, we'll later show some once we have it cleaned up. Shoot some footage and maybe have you guys help us decide or give us ideas of what we should do in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I would say that's the last thing I have on my list. I'm sure there's other things I'm not thinking of that are small, as far as bad things about reselling. My list is longer and much more meaningful to me, I guess, for the good things. Do you have anything else? Or maybe you have comments. What do you got?
I have comments. So American Gluton says, I would love to see you do a 7 smash on listing items, like 18 hours a day to list every item you have that isn't listed.
Let me read that. A 7 smash.
I don't know, maybe it auto-corrected something.
Maybe. 18 hours a day. Okay, if I spent if I was going to try to list every item I have, I don't think people understand how much stuff I have. Maybe here's the problem: like I have a lot of stuff, but like in the garage, I have to go through and sort through it because it's a lot of stuff I've bought bulk at auctions where you buy a lot and it comes with maybe 5 or 20 things, and you really only bought it for maybe 5 or 6 of those things, and the rest of it. So I have stuff in the garage that probably still needs to just go back to the auction or back to the thrift store. A couple things maybe to just go to the garbage. I doubt there's very much of that. Then I have a lot of stuff that is going to have to be tested before I can list. And then a lot of other stuff I have to decide if I want to list it on eBay or Facebook or something like that. There's just a ton of stuff, and it's not so simple just to go out there and grab a box. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, I have so much stuff out there that I couldn't, like, it would take me weeks of 18-hour days of listing, I think, to get it all done. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of items out there. It's really ridiculous, but
And I wouldn't be any help out there because I don't know.
yeah, she doesn't really know. Like she's a help. Like she goes out there with me, and we kind of sort through stuff, and then take a bunch down here to list. But it's just not that simple. A lot of it has to be sorted through before I can decide what's going to go on eBay. So that's something we actually struggle with. Is me having enough stuff for her to photograph and draft. So
I can't help it, girl.
I don't know. That probably doesn't answer your question. I would love to just sit down and knock out everything out there. It's just not going to happen. It's going to be like a year-long process to even reduce it down to one bay in our garage, probably.
Simple Life Thrift eBay says, I know you sell all different types of things, but what's your favorite category to source?
I kind of like shoes. I think shoes are a pain in the butt like if you pick up a lot of stuff that needs cleaning, it can be a pain. But I like shoes, and so they're kind of interesting to me. I feel like they're like once they're cleaned. She doesn't like to clean shoes. But
No.
does anybody like to clean shoes? I don't know. The problem is I pick the stuff up and then it needs to be cleaned. So she's probably just wishing I would never pick up stuff that needs cleaning. But
Is that possible?
yeah, is it possible? It is.
It is if you source.
But how am I
differently.
gonna pass on a pair of shoes I know will sell for $60 or $80 because it takes 3 minutes to clean them? It's just it's not gonna happen. And so it's part of the business. And maybe at some point we'll be like Renzi. I'm sure you guys all know Renzi, and hire somebody to clean shoes for us. They hire somebody to clean half their shoes is what they said. So anyway, I don't know. I like shoes. I like shoes because I feel like they sell well. They don't take up a lot of room to store. The profit's pretty good on them. They're pretty easy to package up. I mean, I would say that my favorite would be video games and stuff like that. I just don't ever find that stuff. It's so hard to find, but they sell so quick.
Eric Carlson says, do you use a business bank account?
I don't. I know that lots of people recommend that you do or that you should, and I think it's more for tracking for tax purposes. But since I use my spreadsheet, everything I spend goes into my spreadsheet. Everything I make goes into my spreadsheet, and so my spreadsheet is what I do all my taxes off of. So I never have to print out bank statements or anything like that from my accountant. I imagine that if I ever got audited, I really think that my spreadsheet's going to be all they really need to look at. That and my receipts. I save all my receipts, so I enter my receipt totals into my spreadsheet, and I throw my receipts in a box, and I have one box for the whole year. And if I ever get audited, that's the only time I'm ever going to look at those receipts again. So no, I don't. Things may change. I don't know. Maybe they'll be required to be changed because we're going to be talking to an accountant this year about maybe doing some kind of business structure as far as like an LLC or S corp or something like that. Then maybe it'll be different. At that point, if we do S corp, we'll be paying ourselves salary. So I don't know. But no, not yet.
Kevin Yorn says, I've been reselling full-time 3 years. Things have been great. How much growth are you wanting to achieve before you are feeling you want to level off because it's more work than you want for yourself?
Well, it's already a lot of work, I guess. For those of you who are thinking about reselling full time, know that it is work, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it because it is work. You can't just, play around and not work, or you're just not going to make money or not make sales. So, I would say our goal is to hit 2,000 listings, And at that, I guess we'll kind of reassess what we think. I think 2,000 listings is going to be, we already make enough money at 1,500 listings to get by and put a little money in savings, but we want to do a little more. So I think if we get up to 2,000, that'll be, I can just break it down real quick. At 2,000, you're going to have 500 more listings, which means you should have about 150 more sales per month. We're averaging just over $30, so that's going to be like 4,500 a month more in sales. And so our net is usually half of that, so that's about 2,200
I don't know.
2,200 a month of income per month if we get more than we're making now, which we don't even really need. So I think that would be like over 25,000 a year that we could use for whatever we wanted to. Probably more than half of that would be into saving and investing, but the other half, who knows? We can do whatever we want. Maybe we'll go
To Hawaii.
back to Hawaii. So I would say 2,000. And then I don't know. I don't know if I'll be satisfied once we get to 2,000. Maybe I think at that point what we'll do is maybe just not try to grow our listings, but maybe do some different things to maybe either reduce the amount of work that we do or increase the sales price, so we're making more for the amount of work that we're doing or something like that. But my goal is 2,000. I don't really feel like we need to be to 3,000 or 4,000 listings. I think that's just going to be too much work. And we're not really interested in hiring employees. So that may change at some point down the road, but we like the simplicity of our business with just the two of us. So we're going to see what we can do, just the two of us.
Barry says you have tone careful with manage payments and make sure your profile on eBay and your bank account match exactly as to name Federal I. I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure what you're referring to. I know when you're signing up that everything has to match up or it won't work as far as your name and stuff like that goes. But I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe you have a follow-up comment or question there that you could help us figure out what you're asking exactly. Does he?
Number and name match your bank account, otherwise they will hold your payments. We just got them to send our payments of almost 10 days. eBay was no help, so I finally figured it out myself.
Yeah, so I've heard people have that problem. In fact, I had to go in and do something. I can't remember what it was, but it was very little. I just had to I can't remember what it was. Your name and everything has to match between eBay managed payments and your actual bank account. So if you give them a different name, it's got to match or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but like I said, once you have it set up, I haven't had any problems. Have you had any problems since then, or are you just kind of new on managed payments? If you're on managed payments, have you guys had any problems with it? I guess I'm curious too, how many people are on managed payments? I know that eventually that everybody's going to be on managed payments.
I thought everybody had to be on by the end of the year.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. Is anybody still? There's got to be people still using PayPal because people ask me all the time if I'm on PayPal or managed payments. So, Are you guys on managed payments or are you guys on PayPal?
And then I'm going to keep going with the questions. So, Whoa Dude and Martin are asking about health insurance. We talked about it at the beginning of the video. So, after it's done, go back. But I'll give you a short version. Yes, we have health insurance. Yes, it's independent insurance. And we pay $1,200 a month.
For a family.
For a family. In Idaho.
And I think it's based on our health conditions too, is it? Or
yes,
no?
So we had to fill out.
You have to fill out a questionnaire about your health history and stuff like that. And we pay more because Melissa has some health issues. So it could be less if you're, completely.
If I were healthy.
She's healthy. She is healthy. She's very healthy. She just has a condition. And so if you don't have any conditions or any health issues, then maybe it would be significantly cheaper for you. And maybe it would be more depending on where you live. I don't know.
Let's see. American Gluton says, we have a 3-car garage. We have a 3-stall warehouse, he says. Nah, we have a 3-stall warehouse.
Same. We're working on it, though. She's very close to getting her car back in there.
Santiago Melendez, do you choose the items you're going to list on the previous day? I'm trying to do that now. Hopefully it'll work out better.
So that is a good idea. I think our goal is that we have like 2 taller shelves, like 6-foot shelves that we're trying to utilize for me putting stuff on the shelves that's for her to list. And so I'm not doing a very good job at it. Just because, like I've said, when I go out in the garage, it's kind of a chore to go through and sort through and pull stuff out that's going to be eBay, that doesn't have to be tested, and that I'm sure is going to go on eBay, not Facebook or whatever. So I'm working on it. It's much easier for me to go to the thrift store and bring everything got at the thrift store and put it on the shelves. And I'm also a better sourcer now. Like I buy stuff, I make better decisions about purchasing now, and so
He's pickier now.
yeah, it would be much easier for me to just go. It is much easier for me to just go to the thrift store and source for a couple hours and come home with 30 items or so on average, I would say, and throw them on the shelf. And so then she has enough to do for the day or so. It's much more difficult to go in the garage and pull out enough for her to do in the day without having to say, okay, here's a whole bunch of stuff that I have to test before I can give it to her. So
Right.
that's kind of the issue that we're running into with the stuff in the garage. I would say, however, that the stuff in the garage is a lot of it is higher dollar price. So when I do take the time to do it, then all of a sudden we're listing $100 items or things like that, and that helps our sales. So
And it's overwhelming. And I get it.
It is. And that's probably the biggest reason I struggle with it is because when I go out there, I just want to be able to do stuff fast and pull it out and bring it down to her. But it takes like a couple hours for me to go through stuff and bring down
And so
a decent amount of stuff.
right. And so Christine Haney says you could do stations, piles. Yes, we have piles out there. So we have a pile that goes to the thrift store. We have a pile that's going to go back to the auction. It's slowly getting there. It's just a process.
And I'm still sourcing. So
Yeah.
and the biggest problem is auctions because when I go to an auction, I'll look through all the lots of the auction. I do my bidding online and I go pick up a whole truckload of stuff. That's the main reason why we have so much stuff out there. But I hate to pass on it because some of the best stuff I find is at auctions. Some of the best profit I find is at auctions, and a lot of it's easy. A lot of it's easy to list, but not all of it is. So I don't like to stop going to auctions because
Yeah.
you get a lot of good. You can get a lot of good inventory that way.
America 7 says a flea market's a good option. Yes,
It
in
is.
big cities.
It is, but we don't have a flea market here. We're here in Podunk, Idaho. Sorry, I grew up in California. There's flea markets there, but yeah,
He likes it. He's still here.
I do like it here. I will live without flea markets. I'm okay with
ABD
it.
Dragon says cross-posting software. Have we used any? We don't cross-post.
No, we haven't. I do like. Yeah, I get this question often too, but the short of it is I would rather spend any amount of time that I'm going to spend cross-posting, I would just rather spend that time putting more listings on eBay because we have plenty of inventory, because I feel like I'm kind of an expert on eBay. I really am comfortable on that platform. I would just rather and I have plenty of inventory. If I have any extra time, I would rather just put more listings up. I kind of feel like cross-listing doesn't really make you sell more items. It just makes you sell them quicker, if that makes sense, more quickly, because you have everything listed in more than one location, so they're more likely to sell fast. I'm not really concerned about selling things fast. I'm really concerned about selling more items. So I just want to get more items listed on more unique items listed, and eventually they'll all sell. And so if that makes sense, I hope it makes sense. I tried to explain this a few times. I never feel like I'm making sense. But or it is no, we don't cross list. We may have, we don't now. I would say that if we had multiple quantities of something, I have done that. I have listed in that sense.
But we don't use his site. He just keeps track.
Yeah, and I don't use a cross listing service. We'll put them on eBay and I'll put them on Amazon, and maybe we'll put some on Facebook or something. But
Zarek Reagan says, what is the average number of items that you can list in an hour?
this comes down to being focused, and it depends on so the way we do it now.
Sorry.
The way we do it now, she's drafting and she's doing photographs. She's photographing.
Yeah.
And she's drafting, and then I complete the listings. So I can crank out a lot if they're already drafted. And when I say drafted, she's basically just uploading the pictures and based off of a sell similar from a similar type item. So I will go in. I don't have to do anything in the pictures. She's got those done. I will go in and create the rest of the listing. So change the brand, the title, the description, the price. I'll do my research for comps for the price and stuff like that. But if I'm just doing it by myself, I feel like I'm a slow lister. So I think that if I'm very focused, that's always going to be the what I say before that, because I may only do 2 listings an hour if I'm not focused. Maybe I could do 10 listings an hour on my own from start to finish, pictures and everything. And depending on what you're listing. If you're doing books or video games, it's much, much faster. But if you're doing clothing with measurements or things that take more time to research comps, then it's going to take longer.
Sublime90 says they're still on PayPal.
Okay.
Brad Golka.
For those of you who are still on PayPal, have you gotten a deadline yet that eBay's told you when you'll be starting it or anything like
So
that?
yeah, some of them have.
Because I'm curious. They said that I would think that soon they said that everybody was going to have to be off PayPal,
Okay,
but I
hold
wonder
on.
if it's going to get delayed. That's all I'm saying.
So Brad got switched to managed payments up in Canada.
Yeah,
Chris
and I don't know if it's different in different countries either. So I can't speak much for outside of the United States.
Crispy Toys and Treasures. I had trouble getting my account set up, so I switched to Chase Bank, and now I have no trouble. I love managed payments now.
Yeah, I think managed payments is pretty easy, and you don't have to deal with buyer disputes between PayPal and eBay, and yeah.
Bren's Jen says on managed payments, never had a problem. Nicole Lindstrom, not until the 25th of January, still on PayPal. Zarek Reagan says I'm on managed. Red Hat Picker has to switch by the 25th of the month. Cypher says hit that like button. He
Thanks,
is
Cypher.
getting it for us. Crispy Toys and Treasure says I wanted my basement, garage, game room, and office back. LOL. So I bought a 24 by 12 shed. It's almost ready to move in, and I can't wait.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It's always nice to have a designated space. I can't. It's so much nicer being in this house than it was in the previous house where, I mean, we kind of had some dedicated space in the other house, but it wasn't enough. And then I had my office upstairs and my inventory upstairs, and then the rest of it was in the garage, and my shipping station was in the garage. And just having to go to different areas of the house is kind of a pain. And using your house in general is kind of a pain. But I still think that I'm much happier having it in our home versus having to drive to a warehouse or something
Yeah.
every day. It's just so much more comfortable. It's just like if I like sometimes I can't sleep very good, and so maybe I get up really early in the morning occasionally. I can just come downstairs and do a little work if I want to. If I'm not tired at night or I can't sleep at night, I might get up at night and I do that. If somebody has a question about an item, I can answer it because I can just go downstairs and pull it out of the tote and answer a question real quick. There's just so many things that are more convenient about being in your home. And I know that there's advantages to being in a warehouse too. But I just like the simplicity of having everything here in one location and not having to drive to work every day and things like that.
I feel like if we had to drive somewhere, it would feel more like a job
I think it would too.
than it being here.
But like I said, there's advantages too. I think that we would probably be more productive in a warehouse environment unless we set it up to be,
Maybe.
I don't know, I could see me setting it up to be very comfortable in the warehouse. There'd probably be a couch there and a TV and a kitchen and yeah. But I do think that there'd be less distractions there, but
Yeah.
I like it in the home.
Barry says our entities and LLC, and I had it listed as a sole proprietor, so they blocked almost $1,500 PF payments. I figured it out myself. Hold on, there's more. Being a former CPA, tech support was no help.
Yeah. So I like eBay. I think often, so I don't know. Not everybody has, how many of you, I'm just going to ask this, how many of you out there watching, I wonder, have eBay's concierge customer service? A lot of you probably don't even know what that is. I don't even know. So I have the eBay concierge service. I got that was part of the deal of paying for eBay Open was that you get for a year, I guess, concierge customer service, or I think that's what it's called. And so you have like, I guess you talk to a special group of people in customer service at eBay who are, I think, a lot more knowledgeable than regular eBay staff that.
But you said for only a year, but you've had it like a year
Yeah,
and a half now.
but then they quit doing eBay Open. Like, so I went to eBay Open in 2019. So I was planning on going back to 2020, but then they canceled it or they didn't have it. Wait.
No, you went
Yeah,
to
yeah. No, I went in 2019.
19?
Yeah, and before this was before COVID, like they decided they weren't going to do eBay Open in 2020 before COVID even hit, which is kind of odd. Maybe they knew. I don't know. Anyway, how many of you guys have? It's pretty nice. I feel like you get kind of specialized treatment. People when you call, or I don't call. I have through the help. You can click on help in eBay Seller Hub, and then you scroll to the bottom, and there's an option to have them call you. I don't know if everybody has that, but I have that, and it's nice. I would say before that, if you call, don't always believe what they tell you because they don't always tell you the proper things. It depends on how well trained or how long they've been there. I've heard many stories of people calling multiple times and getting different answers for the same question. So hopefully that's something eBay can improve over time. But I can imagine that it's probably always going to be a little bit like that as they have staff turnover. That's probably higher because they're lower paid positions and those people aren't just going to be super knowledgeable. I would say many times I call and I'm more knowledgeable about things than the eBay staff are.
Merrick7 says they have issues with managed payments because they have a bank account with a small credit union.
Oh, I've heard of that too. Like if I guess if your bank is small, like she banks at a very bank, I can see it being an issue if we used her bank, but that maybe they don't have the technology, or I'm not sure what the issues are. But I know my bank wasn't listed on the list, but it's still I think maybe that was the problem I had. I can't remember. Whatever it was like a quick phone call and I had it resolved when I signed up.
RV Butterfly Wholesale and Thrifting says they just had to switch to managed payments. Miguel says, once you went full time, how long would you say it took to double your listings income, or did you hit a small plateau with distractions?
Oh, I definitely hit it. I've talked on this. I have a whole video. There's a video I did that's entitled "Before Quitting Your Job Full Time." Sorry, our daughter's over there peeking at us. I don't think she knew we were down here. She's probably wondering what's taking so long. This video we're going quite long, but as long as you guys have questions, I guess we'll keep going. We don't have anything else going on tonight, so. But I did a video that's titled watch this video before quitting your job to go full time or something like that. And it's basically talking about the problems I had in the first 6 months. Like I said, if you've been with me the whole time for this live, I talked about it already, that I thought I would be able to double my listings in a year, and I didn't. Not only did I didn't, I still haven't. I think when I quit, I was at like 1,000 listings or maybe 1,100, I think what happened, I think I remember now. I think I had pulled like a lot, like I hadn't been pulling any of my old inventory that wasn't selling, and I pulled a bunch of it. So I think I was at like, right after I quit right at the end of fourth quarter, like in November. And so with all those sales and then I pulled a bunch of listings, so I would say I was started at about 900 listings. We're only up to 1,500 now, and it's been a little over 2 years, and now she's joined me for 5 months now, and so no, still haven't doubled them. I think that we'll be able to double it together, but I think like I said, I was spending so much time before I quit my job. I was already spending so many hours a week that's the reason I wasn't able to double, because I was already spending a lot of time reselling. If you're just in the situation where you're only spending 10 hours a week, and then you go full time, and now you're actually spending 40 hours, not like spending 20 hours and then playing for 20 hours or whatever, then it should be very quick that you'll double your listings. So I think it's a matter of how far you've scaled before you quit your job. So I can't really say. I would say that if you're able to spend twice as much time than you were, then it's going to take you, I don't know, you could probably figure that out by saying, okay, if I spend twice as much time, how many more listings will I get per month? Compare that to what you're selling per month, and whatever you're over that per month, then you can figure out how long it's going to take you to double your sales. Sorry, that's a long, twisted answer, but I haven't.
Zarek Reagan says, my wife was just switched about 2 weeks ago to managed payments.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are still switching over, and I think they're doing it in blocks, like a large group of people each month or every 2 weeks or something like that. So I don't know how close they are to having been 100%, but I really have no idea.
Sublime90 says, still with PayPal, and eBay hasn't given me a managed payment start date.
Yeah.
Crispy Toys and Treasure says, it's cool seeing hearing from couples that do this together. I had been part-time for over 20 years, was laid off last March, so started doing it full-time.
Awesome. And so a lot of people I've heard that they've got their start that way, is that they got laid off and they just went for it. And I think that's awesome.
Here's the rest of their story.
Oh,
and his girlfriend lost her job in November, so they're going to try to make it full-time business for both of you.
There you go. I would say just buckle down and work as many hours as you need at first to get your income up, so that you're not so stressing about it. So if you can put in 50, 60 hours a week or even more, then you can level it back down once you got a certain amount of listings. But that's my advice.
Zarek is asking if we work in our PJs. I used to, but I found myself not motivated and lazy.
So we don't work in well, she happens to be wearing her pajama pants today, but it's Sunday. So, but we
Yeah, we
typically,
aren't working today.
I would say typically most days we wear sweats. I mean, we're not
Yeah.
leaving the house. We might as well be comfortable. I've heard like Harry Tornado, and like you said, like get fully dressed for the day and you'll be more productive. I don't know. That's probably true. But I was gonna say something. I'm not gonna say it. But anyway, you can be productive in your sweats. Like if that works for you, if it works for you to put on jeans and shoes and whatever else, then do what works for you for sure.
Patrick Downey's listening in from Northern Ireland.
Awesome.
Wow.
Wow, thanks for joining us. That's cool. I asked the question before to live. I think if anybody was international, I don't think anybody was at the time, but that's cool.
That's
It's so cool.
awesome.
That's people. I know that there are people that watch my videos from Ireland and England and Australia and other places. So I think that's very cool.
Let's see. American Gluten says, "What does your guide cover?"
So it kind of just, I would say it's built for anybody who is for sure a beginner, but not just for a beginner. Anybody who's kind of been doing it, but is having trouble scaling or getting to that next level. It basically covers everything from signing up for eBay and PayPal. I'll probably be amending it at some point once PayPal's gone away. That's one of the reasons I want to know. Like, I probably need to put more in there about managed payments and less about PayPal at some point. But anyway, it talks about getting signed up. It talks about how you should first start out, how to get feedback, what kind of things you should list to start to get that good feedback rating and get things going. Basically, how to look stuff up, how to figure out what to buy or if you should buy something. Tips about just all kinds of like tips and stuff. So I haven't sold a lot of those. I think that my spreadsheet has been way more popular. I think that that's because there's a lot of other similar type items out there, but it's only $9. If you're new or newish, and you're just looking to get started, or you're looking to get up to that next level, it probably could be pretty helpful, I would think.
Brad Golka's in Canada.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Another international person, not too far north. We're in Idaho, so we could probably drive 3 hours and be in Canada.
Well, depends where he's at in Canada.
Well, I mean in Canada in general. I don't know where you're at,
Yes.
but.
Debbie says, when you pull old inventory, what is the reason you list for ending the listing so eBay won't ding you?
So eBay won't ding you if you end a listing as long as it's not an auction and you have bids on it. So you won't get dinged for just ending the listing. But she's asking, or he, is it a girl? Yeah,
Debbie.
she's asking, what is the reason for ending? Oh, any of those reasons, I think. As long as it's not, as long as you don't have bids on it, so it's not an auction, then you should be able to end listing for any reason that you have selected. I just usually select, it's no longer for sale. So you should just be able to end it for any reason. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, as long as you're not canceling bids, eBay doesn't want you to do that because that upsets buyers. But if you sell it somewhere, I mean, people do that all the time. Like all the people that cross list on various platforms, if you sell it on one platform, you've got to end that listing. It's not dinging you every time.
And so then the other thing we do is to know how long our listings are up, and if we want to take it down, we put in the item specifics. I don't know what category.
Yeah, the custom SKU that you have that option, the custom SKU when you're doing your draft. You can put anything you want in there, and it's not visible to the buyer, but it will be visible to you if you look at your listing.
So we'll put the month and the year in there, and then we know how long it's been there.
And so I look at my listings every 30 days as they come up for renewal, and that way I can see how long it's been listed, and I might make decisions about lowering the price. And eventually, if the price gets low enough that it's barely covering fees and shipping, then at some point, not very often, but I do end some of those listings and get rid of the items, however.
So Brad Golka's wife's in here. Amy's in here. Hey, Amy. She says her husband showed her our videos today, and she's inspired. You guys are awesome. What are your top 3 favorite items to sell?
So we kind of had this. I guess I like selling shoes. I don't know. Top 3 items are like. Are you talking about categories, or are you talking about specific items? So we sell a lot of clothing and a lot of shoes, and then probably next would be what? sporting goods maybe, or
Yeah,
I'm getting more and
probably.
more into electronics. I like electronics because they sell fast, they sell for good money. They are a little more work to package and to test, but um, anyway, here's your question. I love finding like Patagonia and Hoka shoes, and if you want to get specific, things like that. Arc'teryx is a great brand. Video games, any kind of Nintendo video games, Nintendo 64 games. Look for Mario type stuff. It sells like flies off the shelf. But anyway, I don't know if that helps.
American Glutton says, does the guide come with free updates as you update the guide? And do you have any other products aside from the spreadsheet and the guide?
That's all I have. I don't really know what else I could offer. Like, is there something out there that people are looking for? If there was, I would think about creating it. I'm not really interested in doing courses just because I want to be a reseller. I don't want to be a teacher really. So the spreadsheet, I have made a few updates to the spreadsheet, and usually, and when I do, there's an option to send that to send the update out to the people whoever's purchased it. I've clicked that every time. I haven't heard from anybody that they've actually got it, so I don't know if they are getting it. The guide I haven't really updated yet, so it's pretty much been the same thing the whole time. I've only had the guide up for like a year. I don't know if there is a way. There probably is a way. I suppose that it should have the same option if I do update it, that I can have it sent to everybody that's bought it before. I'm just not confident that that's worked because I've never got any feedback that people are actually getting the updates. So I would say yes, it would come with updates. I should probably take a look at it and see what I could update it with now. I'll probably be doing that. I should probably do that in the next month or so, or next short period. I should probably take a look at that. There's probably a few things I could add to it, I'm sure. So I would say yes, it probably will come with that updates. And if anybody ever wanted to message me and see if there had been any updates, I would probably be willing to send it to you. So send an updated one to you. But anyway, hope that helps.
They also want to know if you lived in an area that didn't have a lot of winter sports and outdoor items and was thinner on quality inventory, what would your game plan to find inventory be?
That's a good question, and it's not something I could easily answer, and this is why, because, sorry, I'm like,
He's so
I am
fidgety.
fidgety. I don't know why. Never mind. I don't, anyway, I don't know. That's a hard question to ask because people ask that sometimes, and I think, well, is it really thinner there, or are they just not looking everything up? I imagine there are some small areas where you're just going to have to travel, or you're going to have to go online to do your sourcing. So I guess my answer to that would be I would probably. It depends on how far away good sourcing opportunities would be. I think before I would go online to source. I'm not knocking online sourcing. I just don't know how to do it, and I don't know where the good opportunities are. And I feel like online there's got to be a lot more competition. So I would be more likely to drive a couple hours to a bigger town and spend the day or a couple days even sourcing. So I'm gonna give a shout out to somebody, Osborne Toothrest. I don't know if you guys follow him, but he kind of does this. He lives near where I live, but in a slightly smaller town. And I think he just does it because he's mostly in one category. So he sells tons of electronics. He does very well. You guys should follow him on Instagram. And he's just barely started a YouTube channel, so you should check him out. But he does sourcing trips, and he'll drive 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours, I think, and he'll hit thrift stores all along the way, and then he'll hit them all the way on the way back. And I think he spends the night somewhere. That's probably what I would do if it was me. I don't know how far away you are from somewhere like that, but that's what I would first recommend because I feel like you're going to get better items, higher profit potential by doing things that way versus going somewhere like bulk.com and buying a pallet. We are going to be trying stuff like that this year, at least from a couple different sources, online, buying a couple of pallets to see how we can do. But I have a feeling, I don't know because I haven't done it. So I would say I have a feeling our profit's going to be lower, but maybe it'll be easier to list stuff. And so we'll see. We're going to try that. But I would say, personally, I would drive somewhere and just source a ton in a day or two and come home before I would go online. But I'm going to try both. We are planning to go a few hours out of town soon. I think soon. Mm-hmm. We've done it before to an auction and where they sell like pallets worth of stuff and maybe pick up a couple pallets there and give that a try again. So.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it, but there are lots of people who only source online and they do very well. So I would say no matter where you are, you should have some option as long as you are able to have stuff delivered to you or shipped to you. That shouldn't be a reason to not be able to find enough stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. So this video is getting a little long. It's almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, we probably should wrap this up.
So I just have one question because he didn't really touch on any of this. What is annoying you about me being here?
Who said that you were annoying me?
Oh, that's a good answer, honey.
I would say there's probably not nothing. I'll just be honest. I work very well by myself, and so sometimes I think that
I'm in your space.
no, not exactly. It's just a different kind of, it's a different feeling of like, so like she maybe gets annoyed by me, and so that maybe that's why. Maybe that's the problem. So like I listen to like the same music all the time. So she asked me the other day, maybe we could listen to some other music, which is fine. Or maybe sometimes she's not in a great mood and that kind of rubs off on me. That happens sometimes.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa. Probably more the other way, but anyway, no, I would say there's little things like that.
Yeah.
But not very much. I enjoy having her here and I think it's fun to have somebody else here. But like maybe I would rather maybe I'd like to blare the music sometimes, and maybe she wouldn't like that, or maybe
if it's a different station.
or maybe I would like to stop and watch a movie without anybody knowing, but I can't do that because she's here now. So.
Oh, distractions.
No, yeah, I would honestly. She probably keeps me a little more focused, so that's probably good. So there's your answer.
Thanks.
But how about for you?
It's the music.
She gets annoyed by the
It's-
music.
you
I'm sure
guys.
there's more than that. What else is there?
It's the YouTube station he listens to. Like I could
It's
probably
not
tell
a
you.
station.
I could probably tell you which song is coming on next, and I know all the words. And he whistles to them, which we get mad at the kids for whistling in the house.
Do I whistle a lot?
You whistle a lot. I
All right,
really
truth's
need.
coming out. She doesn't ever. I like 1 or 2 times ever. She's asked me to stop whistling. So how many times has she sat there irritated by me? I don't know.
Because I love you.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
how about me? What do I do that annoys you? I guarantee there's some, if not many.
When you bring food downstairs, it annoys me.
Down here? Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? There's certain things. I
don't
had
let
no.
the
I
kids
had
leave.
no idea. I had no
I like
idea.
to keep food in the kitchen area or
Or
something that's easy to clean up if we're watching TV.
she has exceptions that are okay with her.
Like
yeah.
popcorn or chips. That's
I do.
easy to
I do
clean
bring
up.
food down here. I have a desk. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know why it bugs her so much. She has certain things that bugs
I
her.
do.
Like I don't eat chips around her or popcorn or anything that has any crunchy noise. She gets
Or
very,
smack your gum.
She gets very irritated.
I do. I don't know why. It's just like this thing in my brain, and it just is like, oh.
Anyway, we're losing people.
That's fine. It's been
No,
an
it's
hour and a
fine.
half. We gotta.
Yeah, we need to wrap this up anyway. Is there any more?
Let's see.
Let's hit all comments that we got left.
If
If you guys have any more questions, hit up now because we're gonna wrap this up. I think.
You two are great. Love your videos and your kind, humble, approachable people.
Thank
Makes
you.
watching your videos enjoyable. Great couple, great business. Thank you. Brad Golka asks, what music? It's not bad music. It's
It's just the same.
6
So
months of
what happens-
over and over and over
What happens
again.
is on YouTube, I can just select like a type of music, and it remembers what I've liked and listened to before, or what I've searched for, and so it tends to play the same stuff, and so she's getting tired of it.
Yeah.
So I put on country for her the other day,
I know, and I really appreciated it.
but then I'll have to it'll still do the same thing. Like
It does.
if you put it
And
on
then
again, it'll play the same song. So
And I kind of got irritated, and I was like, did he just change the station? And then it went back to country, so it
Anyway,
was...
these are major issues we have with reselling full time. Nothing major. We have fun.
Brad also wants to know, what is it that you love most about each other? I love that I just get to work with him every day. I get to
Are we
see him
talking
more.
about for reselling, or are we just talking about in general?
Oh.
I'll tell you one of the biggest things I love is that I am 100% me all the time, and that she's okay with that.
Yep.
I don't have to pretend to be or act any different. Like she loves me for me, I think.
I do.
Anyway,
I do.
and that's pretty awesome. And she's very laid back, and well, we'll see. Maybe she's getting a little more irritated with me than she used to, but she's pretty laid back, and I like that. And I'm very laid back, and that's probably hard for her to deal with sometimes.
You know what? That is hard sometimes, because you're too laid back sometimes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah.
Come to my level.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I am too laid back probably sometimes.
what are each of your favorite bands and musicians? I don't know. I just like country right now.
Yeah, I don't have favorite bands. Like, I don't ever buy music. I'm bad. I just listen to the
Yeah.
radio or print music and just listen. I love music. I have it on all the time, but I don't really have a favorite. I like I like some stuff that she doesn't like though. Like I like stuff with a beat that gets you moving.
Mm-hmm.
She gets irritated by that.
What is that music called?
Well, I'm just talking about like she doesn't like any kind of repetitive beat.
Yeah.
Like just
Well, what is it that Aubrey listens to right now?
I don't know, like house music, club like
Yeah,
house
like
music or something that yeah.
over and over and over again, and I'm like, oh, pick a different beat.
I like that sometimes, but yeah.
Okay, what else? RV Butterfly wants to know how you get your spreadsheet. He will put it down below.
Okay, yeah, it might be a while before it's on this video because I'll have to go back and edit the video later after it's finished uploading. But if you go to any of my videos, it's pretty much a link in there. You just click on the link, it'll take you to that. It's $9, and then we'll email you a link to download it. It's pretty simple.
There
If
you
you have
go.
any problems, you can contact me on Instagram, DM me on Instagram, Pro Flippers, and I can help you out. But
American Gluten, would she be mad if you started shucking oysters at your desk downstairs? Yes, I would, because then it's fish and it's noisy.
yeah, you have to be silent. She doesn't like weird smells.
I need canceling headphones. That's what I
I
need.
didn't really know that she seriously is not. I mean, she's given me a couple hard times about taking food down here, but she's never like, I really don't want you to eat food down here. I don't know if I'm going to stop eating food down here, though. I don't like to sit at the table and do nothing. I'd rather sit here and watch a video or do something on my
That's why you have
spreadsheet.
your phone. You watch a video on
I
your phone.
guess. All right, I'll work on that.
All right, and then Aces says, how many listings do I need to sell? 1 to 10 items a day, and how many things a day should I list minimum?
All right, so we kind of touched this on this already, but I'll quickly go over it again. It depends on what you're listing. If you're sourcing from thrift stores and garage sales and buying like a variety of stuff, then on average, if you're doing your listings right and pricing competitively or whatever, you should see 1% of your listings sell a day. So if you want one item to sell a day, on average, then you need to have 100 listings. If you want 10 items to sell a day, then you need to have 1,000 listings. And like I said, we're at about 1,500 listings and we're selling about 15 items a day. But that's not going to be the same for everybody. It's not going to be the same depending on what you're selling. What you're selling and how you're pricing and stuff like that goes.
Oh, Brad, that's what you meant by that. Okay, good to know. I have misophonia.
What is that?
Google misophonia. It sounds make your brain go, hell no. I mean, no.
Oh, now we're not going to get paid. He wrote it. We were just reading what he said.
Yeah, I was just reading the comments.
I think we'll be fine. Yeah, if you don't know that, if there's a lot of swearing in your video, and I think if somebody reports you, then you can't get monetized on that video. Not that we make very much money at all anyway, but anyway.
Brad says he's sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. And by the way, that's very mild for her on a normal day. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there.
I'm very good on the videos, people.
Yes. What else?
Crispy Toy says, do you guys set yourself goals weekly, monthly, or yearly?
I would say all of the above. I would say we probably focus the most on weekly. We try to get a certain amount of listings per week, and that's mostly our goal. Other than that, I have goals for everything because I'm very numbers oriented. So I'm trying to average $550 in sales a day for the whole year. That's one goal. That's probably my daily goal as far as what we want to make. Monthly, not sure we really have a monthly.
No.
Well, I guess we do.
Well,
it's
if we're
going to be
selling
whatever
weekly,
that
it's
comes
gonna
out
be-
to.
yeah.
Whatever that comes out to. We're basically our goal for the year is to sell 200,000 on eBay, and so you can break that down to monthly to whatever we want to average. Of course, it's going to be lower in certain parts of the year and higher in fourth quarter, but we want to average 550 a day sales and 200,000 for the year. That's our goal. Hopefully, we'll exceed that. I think we'll hit it no problem. We hit 171 or so last year. So.
Yeah.
And we have listing goals basically, and we have that goal of getting to 2,000 listings and maintaining that.
Brad, maybe Amy and I should talk if we have the same thing. We should talk, probably. American Glutton says, has a buyer ever sent back a different item than they bought on a return?
I've actually never had that happen. I've heard many people say that, they received a rock back or whatever. I've actually never had that happen. Not to say that I haven't had people like lie about the reason for returns or return stuff that they said was broken and it wasn't broken. We had one the other day where they returned a Patagonia pullover because they said it was in not the condition that I said it was in the listing and that it had an odor. And we got it back, and it's like new. I just relisted it because it had zero. I asked Melissa didn't know what was going on. I asked her to tell me what the odor was on this.
And I have a very high
And
sense
she's
of
very
smell.
sensitive to smells. And she said, I don't smell anything. And I said, okay, what's wrong with the condition? And she couldn't find anything wrong. It's so basically they were just lying because they didn't want to have to pay to ship it back. I offer returns. They could have returned it no problem, but they said it was not as described, so they wouldn't have to pay to return it. And there's not really anything I can do about that. And that kind of stuff's going to happen. So you just have to chalk it up to the cost of doing business. Any business that you run, you're going to encounter stuff like that. Like Walmart has to deal with, I don't know, how many items are stolen from their store every day or damaged by people in the store or whatever.
Or returned to Walmart
Or
that
return,
wasn't
yeah,
actually bought
yeah,
at Walmart, right?
Or whatever. I mean, any business is going to have stuff like that. It's hard to swallow sometimes, but you just have to look at the bigger picture and know that that's just the cost of doing business, and that you're not going to ever not have that stuff. It's just going to happen.
Okay, so we're going to go 2 last questions, then we're going to cut this off.
Yeah, we better go.
Asa says, how many listings a day should I do minimum? I think that depends on your time frame and how much time you have.
And it's going to depend on what your goals are, like how much you want to make or where do you want to get to, and then just decide how fast you want to get to there. So that's really up to where you need to be. Everybody, I've said this before too, everybody has different income requirements and how much they want to make or how much time they want to spend. So it's really up to you. Figure out where you want to be, figure out how fast you want to get there, and figure out what it's going to take to get you there. That's really all I could tell you.
Okay, and last question. Do you block problem customers?
I have, not very often. There's very few, just because I feel like for the most part, if you have that big of a problem with the customer, they're probably not going to buy anything from you again. But I have blocked a couple that I'm really just kind of worried about it because they seem pretty scammy. Like maybe they would try to scam me again. So I have blocked a few, but not very many. Like literally probably 5-10 people in all the years I've been doing this, 20 years or whatever. So I know there's some people that block a lot of people, but I don't really think it's necessary.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up. So thanks, guys, for joining us. Thanks for all the questions. That was awesome. It was great to get to know all of you. And
yeah, it was fun. I mean, we didn't have a ton of people here. I think we got up to about 60, which is
pretty
great.
good.
I think the last time we was right around 30 the whole time, and you guys kept questions coming very fast, and that makes it so much easier for us, and it's fun to interact with you guys. So thank you for your time. Please remember on your way out to like or subscribe if you haven't, or comment. If you guys have questions later, just leave them down below. I'll read all your comments and I'll probably answer any questions you have. So,
and follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram, Pro Duo Flippers there. Anyway, appreciate your time, guys. Thank you for participating. Thanks for all the great questions. So we'll see you next time. We'll probably be doing another one of these in a week or two or so because they're going pretty well and we're having fun with them. So thanks, guys.
Bye.